Good day, I'm Carrie-Ann Smith and this is your JIS News for August 23. The Planning Institute of Jamaica is reporting flat growth of 0.1% for the April to June 2012 quarter. Director General Dr. Gladstone Hutchinson says the modest outturn occurred against the background of a relatively stable macroeconomic environment with better than expected fiscal deficit and continued moderate inflation.
For the April to June 2012 period, the inflation rate was 1.5% compared to 2.9% for April to June of last year. The fiscal deficit for the April to June 2012 period was $8.8 billion, which was $1.35 billion lower than budgeted.
Dr. Hutchinson attributes the modest growth to the larger than expected contractions in value added in some key industries. The main industries that did contribute to growth in the gross domestic product were agriculture, hotels and restaurants, and wholesale and retail trade, which contributed 0.9 percentage point to GDP growth. Construction is to begin in another 2 weeks on 1,800 concrete and wooden houses under a low-income housing project being executed by the government and Food for the Poor. An agreement was signed by the partners early this week, fulfilling a commitment given by the Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller during her budget debate. Government and Food for the Poor are jointly funding the project, with the state contributing the land for the units and $500 million through a grant from the Petro-Carib Development Fund.
I want to thank Food for the Poor. We are united in our common objective of addressing some of the socioeconomic deficiencies in our country.
Construction will fall under the Jamaica Emergency Employment Program, JEEP. The 600 concrete units will be sold on the open market by the NHT, targeting minimum wage earners. The 1,200 wooden houses, meanwhile, will be distributed island-wide free of cost to persons on Food for the Poor's existing list of applications, as well as from persons recommended by political representatives, the churches, and community groups. The Program of Advancement through Health and Education, PATH, has increased the post-secondary grant paid to tertiary students. Secondary level students who are on PATH and have transitioned to a tertiary school can now receive up to $50,000, an increase from the previous one-off payment of $15,000. The increase to PATH tertiary students also includes accessing $20,000 for skills training and $20,000 for a certificate course.
And that's a one-off payment that we make once we get information from the student that they are registered in the institution, and we get some sort of verification from the institution that they have been accepted as someone who is a registered student.
Meanwhile, secondary students on PATH who are sitting external exams will also receive an increase. Minister of Finance, Planning and the Public Service Dr. Peter Phillips is asserting that freedom of cultural expression and the affirmation of racial and cultural identity are among the greatest benefits derived from the experience of national sovereignty. The Finance Minister was giving the keynote address at the recent Salises 50/50 conference dubbed Critical Reflections in a Time of Uncertainty, put on by the University of the West Indies. He added that national independence provided a platform for the growth and global expansion of the Caribbean cultural presence, which would likely never have occurred otherwise.
Any reckoning of the post-independence history of the English-speaking Caribbean must start with the substantial social and cultural progress that resulted from the transfer of power to local authorities.
And finally, work on the King Street to Green Pond roadway in St. James should be completed within 3 months. That assurance comes from the State Minister for Transport Works and Housing, Richard Azan, as the National Works Agency announces that work on the roadway resumes this week. The multi-million-dollar project is being executed by China Harbour Engineering Company under the Jamaica Development Infrastructure Program. It's being completed at a cost of $147 million and involves the complete rehabilitation of 4.8 kilometers of roadway, including drainage improvement, construction of curbs and channels, and the replacement of culverts. And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Carrie-Ann Smith. Thanks for watching.